Alright guys, here's part 2, or the second part. This is the other side. As I mentioned on the other video, rust was a little bit worse on this corner. It's all cut out, and I've spent considerably more time fitting this piece. This is 16 gauge, so it's twice as thick as the base metal. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I'm going to try it. And lines up pretty well. There's quite a few curves, and really the only other place I need to fit is right here. I think this curve in the patch panel is a little bit too aggressive, so this part, you can see the line. I need to bend this back a little bit so that this corner matches a little more. And then I'll be ready for tacking. So let's see if I can do a better job this time. Alright, so we're going to try this again now on the driver's side. Hole's considerably bigger, and I'm going to try to do things a little differently. But first, since this is the gas tank side, gas tank's up there and all the lines, I'm going to throw in this hole a fire blanket, basically, just to keep any sparks from migrating up. I already cleaned up everything and made it as as straight as possible. So this time I'll really pay attention to the heat. So I also cut this a lot more carefully. I'm going to fit it and show you, but it's 16 gauge. That's probably a little bit too thick, but maybe it will help with some of the heat dissipation. So hold on, let me fit it and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I tried to do a much better job, though not perfect, on fitting. Got a bit of a gap all around. Regrettably a little bit bigger in the corners, but I'm going to go really carefully with the heat, and it'll probably take me longer than it should, but I really want to avoid the situation I had on the other side. So I'll put another magnet here and maybe another one over here, and I'll just go nice and slow. Boom, boom, and so on. I'll be back. Okay, I'm ready to go. And I'm probably not going to show you everything, but I'll set up a couple of tacks as I go here. I'm just going to go super slow. Oh, I know why. Because I have a gap everywhere, and I'm not getting a ground to that panel. Let me try something here. Okay, so that's pretty proud. I need to try to find a way. Maybe I'll do a slower wire feed, but I'm going to try to turn that down. I don't want that much wired because I don't want to be grinding. So let me turn it down and I'll try again. I don't know if you can see my settings, but the wire speed is at like 15 and the amperage is at the lowest setting. So let's see if the next one is going to be any better. I'm going to put it maybe in this corner here. missed it by a bit, but need lots of practice. All right, let's move over here. Let me move you guys over here somewhere. Right away. Wow, that is crazy how quickly the heat builds up. So I'll put one over here. Yeah, I'll put one over here. It's cooler here still. And let me see if I can pull that out or push on this a little. So I'll keep working my way around, albeit much more slowly, and hopefully I will have a better result. So hang tight and I'll come back with you guys later. Here's where I am so far. I still have a straight line and I'm just going very, very slowly. Not great, but arguably better than last time. So you can see I missed a couple of these. So yeah, not great. Let's see if you can see here. Still relatively straight. So this panel is warm, this is cool, so we'll let this sit and revisit a little bit later. Starting to run into a bit of an issue, a little bit of a blowout here and in the body panel. So I'm not sure if I'm going to chase that one or not. I'm afraid to get into this area here. I really didn't want to have any issues on this feature line, so I might try filling it in just a bit, but I'm not that good, and I don't know if it's worth it. So I'll keep working on the rest and leave that maybe for last. But so far so good. The top here did work its way inboard, so now I've got a bit of a lip, just a tiny thing, and I really wanted to avoid that also, but it's very, very minor, maybe a 1/16. So keep going, see what happens. It's been a couple weeks, had a few things going on, but this is pretty much the final state. I'm gonna do one more grind, but I filled in pretty much everything. That's not a hole, that's just a seam there, and generally okay, but I do still have this lip here. I'm gonna grind some of this off, but I think it'll be okay. Let me show you from this end. I don't know if you can focus there, but I'll fill this lip in with a little bit of Bondo glass, and I think we'll be okay. So I'm gonna grind some of this down a little bit more, some of these sharp edges here, and I don't think I'm gonna try to fill anymore with weld, because I'm afraid of it distorting further. It did push in a little bit here this way, but I think it'll be okay. Let me show you from the top here so you can see what I mean. See a little bit of a came in right in here. This spot here is where I blew through, and I think that caused it to be a little bit caved in there, but not too bad. So let me grind some of this down, and I'll come back with the final. Okay, so I did the rough grind with what is this, a 36-inch or 36 grit flat wheel. I'm gonna do a little bit more cleanup around the edges here with just a 80 grit roll lock, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of DA with 80 grit here. So headphone users, I did find one hole opened up. I could see sparks through that, so I'm going to fill that up before I do any DA. Let me do that now. Alright, filled in a couple more spots. Let's get to grinding again. So this is the final product, minus, epoxy and so on. The next step is, so I DA'd all this. I went 80 grit. I'll probably do 36 or 40 before I epoxy, but I'm gonna spray epoxy everything when I get to the rest. And that's it. This was the last rusty portion, that wasn't surface rust. The real issue that I came across with is that the rust really got very close to this feature line, and if I had a patch panel, I probably would have cut somewhere so that I wouldn't be welding close to the patch or to this feature line, but I think it'll be okay. It's relatively straight, and I should be able to fill any little voids with some fiberglass resin or, you know, short strand epoxy or short strand fiberglass, and then smooth it out with some filler afterwards. So should be good to go. And that's about it. This side of the Jeep is ready for epoxy. I just don't know when I'm going to get to it. The tailgate is ready for epoxy. I just don't know when I'm going to get to it. But hopefully in the next video I'll be masking and spraying. Talk to you soon.